Hi. Hi, my name is Savannah, and today we ask the question, what are you ashamed of? Because what are you ashamed of? What am I ashamed of? Existing, feeling, expressing those feelings. What am I ashamed of? Anecdote. I've discovered that I have a lot of shame around expressing myself and vulnerability. I've always been a sensitive person. Growing up, I was bullied a lot for being too sensitive by family members and friends and partners. I've always been a very intense, passionate person. Always. Casual, I don't know what the fuck that means. It doesn't exist for me. Because nothing is casual for me. Everything I do needs to be perfect and amazing. Every person I meet needs to be my best friend or the love of my life. Or just someone I care very deeply for. It's something I've learned about myself is that I can't do casual. I can't do on the surface. I like depth. I like emotion. I like passion. And it's just who I am and who I always have been. And I love that about myself. I genuinely do. But there are times, like now, where I feel regret and I feel embarrassment and shame around expressing myself. This happens mostly in relationships with potential partners, but I do have this with friends as well, and I have felt shame around expressing myself to family members before too. I'm sure people can relate to this. I'm speaking from my perspective, and I'm making this video because I know somebody can relate. I know it's not just me, even though it does feel like it is just me. Because I have yet to meet people that experience the way that I do. Or maybe I do and they shut down, because honestly I have that trait as well. I've discovered I'm pretty sure I have like anxious attachment with like avoidant tendencies when I feel rejected or shame, and I run away. So I've been working on that. My anxious attachment doesn't normally affect other people. It normally only affects me at this point, but I still feel those emotions intensely. I guess I have a secure attachment style now, even though on the inside I feel a certain way. I just don't react to it with people, really. At least not anymore. So, shame. I'm not ashamed. I feel a lot of shame, but I know that I should not be ashamed of the way that I feel and the way that I express myself. Because this is life, and this is a normal human reaction. We are all human. We might express it in different ways, but I know that I am not alone in feeling this way, and I know I'm not alone in this. Although I do choose to be alone, generally, because I would rather be alone than be surrounded by people that don't know me or accept me, are okay with how I am. So when I say these things, I'm not abusive in any way or anything. I did used to have a lot of toxic behaviors that I would project onto others. I worked very hard to get that out of my system and internalize my gut reaction to hurt people who hurt me. I've done a really good job at internalizing that. I'm not gonna lie, I did do that somewhat recently to someone that I had a personal relationship with. But in my defense, they were extremely abusive and terrible to me. And you know, sometimes you just are like, fuck it. Who cares about being a bigger person? I'm about to curse them out, and I did. No regrets. Sometimes it feels good to go a little insane, especially when you know that that person's also insane. Sometimes I just attract crazy people. But again, there's nothing for me to be ashamed of. I am reacting and responding in a way that is true to me in that moment, and is true to me now, because I obviously am telling you about it and I'm laughing about it because I'm aware of my behavior. But the self-reflection and the self-awareness is the reason why I give myself a pass, because I know that I didn't need to curse them out, but I did. And I accept that I did that. You know, sometimes people need to be cursed the fuck out. But I'm making this video because I felt a lot of love recently. I felt a lot of love recently. And I don't think that it wasn't real, because I trust myself. I trust myself, and I trust my intuition, and I trust my feelings. This is something I've worked very, very hard on for years, to build trust for myself, because I grew up in an environment where nobody trusted me or believed me when it comes to my feelings. I don't think it was entirely intentional. I think sometimes when you're around people that don't trust or believe themselves, it's gonna be pushed onto you. That's something that happens. And it's no one's fault. We're all human, and not everybody has the strength to do the work that they need to do, that needs to be done. But, you know, in saying that, some people fall victim to this mentality that they can't control. Me. And I'm sure many other people as well have things that they believe are wrong with them or struggle with daily, and they don't know where it comes from. Because when you're logical and rational, but then emotionally feel another way, it feels like you're fighting yourself constantly. It feels like a battle every day. Every day. And I continue to do the work, and I continue to do my best, because I believe that is the most perfect that I can be, is to do my ultimate best every single day. And I don't always, but I try. I really do try. So why do I feel shame for expressing myself and being who I am? I feel embarrassment for loving somebody unapologetically. And I'm a rational person, like I have said before, a logical person. I don't really care how anybody else views me, because I trust myself and I know myself better than anyone ever will. And it hurts when you meet someone that makes you want to be vulnerable, because I do put up walls. I don't trust easily or care easily. I mean, that's a lie. I care about everyone, sadly. It's actually really freaking annoying and unfortunate. But to give, and you know, again, makes me want to blame myself because I feel like I should have given the situation more time before I gave. But I'm learning to trust myself, and I'm learning to do what is true to me. And what was true to me in those moments was giving myself to this person and trusting this person. But I don't necessarily regret it. What I regret is my spiral after the fact, because I knew that they emotionally disconnected from me, but I chose to, I don't even want to say chase or push, but I kept reaching for a connection that was gone. And I should have known, or I should have accepted it sooner, but I stopped trusting myself because I allowed myself to trust this person, and then I felt as if I took that back, that I was wrong in a situation, but I wasn't wrong. You can give and love with someone and care with somebody, but once it's done, it's done. Pushing for something that no longer exists is where the mistrust comes from. But rather than allowing this thing to be let go, I held on to it because I said that I trusted myself and my instincts, but in reality, I just went from trusting my instincts to trusting that person and ignoring mine. After I reached a certain point of vulnerability with them, and I gave myself over. And I don't want to feel shame and regret for doing that, because I think that's a very precious and amazing feeling. I felt amazing until I realized it was over. And now I have a lot of shame and regret because I feel like I shouldn't have done that. And this isn't the first time I've done this, obviously. I love and feel very deeply and very powerfully for everybody in my life, not just intimate relationships. It just hurts more intimately because I have my own issues with that. It's not even more, really. Friends have also hurt. Just a feeling of being used and lied to and manipulated, which again, it's not always true. A lot of people aren't self-aware and a lot of people don't know. Just like I said, how I don't know why I feel shame. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably also don't know why you feel shame. And I'm telling this story because I know someone can relate to it. And we should not be ashamed for feeling and being and existing, because that's what makes life so awesome. That's where happiness comes from. It's being and existing and feeling and experiencing things. That's where life comes from. That's where the amazing feelings that you feel come from. That's where it comes from. What happened? That's where it comes from. And you shouldn't be ashamed to feel. You shouldn't be ashamed to experience things and want things and desire things and give yourself to people. You shouldn't be ashamed of that, because again, that's where all this comes from. That's what this is for. It's what this life is for. That's what this life is for. And I might feel embarrassment, but I mean, now the only people who know are you, me, and that person. But if I didn't express this to you, like, well, they're the only person that knows what I said, right? And if they go around and tell somebody or mock me or think it's embarrassing that I felt and I loved and I was passionate, that's on them. Because I know that the things I've done are true to me. And I'm not over dramatic. I trust myself in that. I'm not over emotional. I know that about myself. I just feel intensely. There's no over. It's just the people that accept and relate to you and the ones that don't. And I know that the people that I have been this way with were like that with me at one point. People can shut down all they freaking want to. I really don't care. I am not going to allow other people's shame to make me feel shameful. And you shouldn't either. There's no shame. You have the ones that accept you and the ones that don't. The person that thinks you're dramatic, the next person will think that you're passionate, that you're caring and you're loving. The one that thinks that there's not enough time will think that there's more than enough time, or it's amazing that I've lived and felt like I've lived all these years with you, knowing you in such a short amount of time. There are going to be the ones that you're compatible with and the ones that you're not. The ones that can last and the ones that can't. The ones that are ready and the ones who aren't. And even if they seem that way at first, a lot of people change their mind. People are complex. Humans are complex. The mind is all over the place. And not everybody is self-aware and has the same emotional intelligence that you have. Everyone has a different level. Everyone's on their own in their journey and in their experience. And you can't fault people for being at a different state than you are or interpreting life a different way than you. It's not like an us versus them situation. It's not an everybody versus you. And feeling shame because, I don't know, that's the thing, right? Like, what is there to be ashamed about? The only reason why I could feel shame is if I'm thinking about the other way people are interpreting me, because like I just said throughout this video, I don't believe anything is wrong with me. I think I have my struggles. We all have our struggles. But I love who I am. I've worked very hard, very, very hard to be who I am and accept who I am and live my truth. And I feel like everybody should continue to work hard. You should all do your best and be your best every day. Like perfect, do you know what perfect is? Perfect does not exist, right? It's like when you say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Who defines perfection? You define perfection. It's how you view things, the world, and yourself. So for me, I believe that doing my best, and anyone who does their best, and as long as you try your hardest and you genuinely believe and you know that, even if it feels hard, you are doing your best. How can you not be perfect? Who says? If it's not you, it doesn't matter. Who says that you should feel shame and regret and loss? It's all about perception and perspective. I know that I've done my best and I let somebody unlock a part of me that I haven't felt in a while. And it felt amazing while it was happening. I let it go on a little too long, but it felt amazing and I have no regrets. It was so awesome. I wish I could feel it every day. I wish I could have it all the time, but that's not how it works all the time. That's not how life works. I mean, it could be, right? If you manifest hard enough and try hard enough. There's nothing to be ashamed of. As long as you do your best and you're true to who you are, you have no shame. Only people who feel shame are people who aren't that, who aren't doing that. You can't be ashamed if you're true to you. You can't. true and honest to you, who you are, and your beliefs. You just can't. And if you do feel shame, I would question why. And if it has anything to do with anyone outside of you, fuck that shit. Automatically cancels out. Doesn't matter. But if you feel shame for you, then think about if what you did was true to you in that moment, right? It's in that moment, because we change and we're fluid. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I love me. I really do. And you should love you too. And if you don't, figure out why that is. And if you have to mention or think about anybody else on that journey, in that thought process, in that exploration, then it's not you, babe. I'm not ashamed. I'm proud. And this pain will pass. And I will feel proud again. Because right now, I'm just a little... We talked about this. Thanks for watching.